Alright, we got our winner's match of this group. So we're getting another Clem TVP. Top right it is hero, bottom left it is Clem. So yeah, Clem looked good against Zound. Zound looked good against Clem until that last game. That last game went off the rails very quickly. Which is kind of interesting that it didn't seem like it was the end of the world until it was. And who knows what could have happened if Zound did not try to protect that fourth base. But I'm pretty sure he does still die. I mean, he was at the very last second of that game, he was down 50 supply, so obviously if he didn't take the fight, he'd be down more like 30 supply, I guess. And then I think that is technically something you can come back with, but it would require the utmost perfect PvT play. So it was a lot of the things actually working and that don't usually work. The Widowmine drop, the drop into the main, the auto turrets. One of them usually works, I guess you could say. One of them, and when I say works, I mean kill 5 probes. One of them can work, but most of the times none of them do more than 2 probes worth of damage. And that's still kind of a big deal. Even if the opponent has been playing a little bit of a greedier style. Maybe they could afford a couple of losses more than if they had a failed 4-gate, for instance. But including the loss of probes with a big loss of zealots. That's the double whammy that I think really killed him. Because I do believe we've seen a lot of Terrans who do get 5 probes with the Raven, or do get 5 probes with the Widowmine drop, or 10 probes with the Banshee. Alright, we saw that at the EWC qualifier, and the Protoss still ended up winning. It's just that when you combine it with also investment of an army, you lost both. You lost your economy and you lost your army. And you can't replace both at the same time. You gotta choose one or the other to really take risks on, and it just makes you vulnerable one way or another. And by the end of that game, he had lost, I think, something like 16 zealots very inefficiently. Very inefficiently. 1,600 minerals down the drain when you already lost your probes. So, yeah, that kind of how I took that game anyway. But more to the point, as we watch another Protoss come in here, I don't think you get that game too often. hero's not going to make the exact same order of mistakes that Clem then finds a surprisingly easy TVP to win, like that game number 3 was. It is going to be a Stargate opener, though, which is less and less likely. Now, Stargate opener has been used every now and again, but it seems to be used once in a best of 3, and then the Protoss are like, oh, right, I should just go Twilight Council. That seems to be what happens. Whether they go into Phoenix, Colossus, or Oracle Blink, it seems they do it once. They lose with it as well, is what it feels like. And then they're like, nah, never mind. Back into the box I go. Back into the Twilight Council. And it is going to be Phoenix here, so we'll see if it is going to be Phoenix Colossus or Phoenix Charge, which we don't see too often, but I think is a nice little mix-up. I mean, a lot of the argument for the Stargate being not that appealing anymore is just that it's not as good. I don't think it's necessarily bad. It's just not as good as going directly into Blink or going directly into Charge Storm. Clem is trying to get a scout, but so far being denied. Wall in the high ground, stalkers, and pseudo wall in the natural too, actually. Reaper gonna try and force his way in! Not gonna work out. He does not know it is a Stargate, and there's no clues to it either. Not even an Adept as an opener. Just 3 stalkers. No sentry, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's Stargate. There are no sentry openers with the Twilight Council as well. So this is something that Clem might be very unfortunate in not knowing, as he sends a drop across the map. Wouldn't mind dropping the natural or the attack to the front. Phoenix will be a surprise, and there will be 3-4 of them, actually, so that's a good amount. A couple of those units on the ground, too. Clem not going to go for it, with the units already prepared. This is where the Phoenix are supposed to get the punish. And boom! Now he knows it's Phoenix. Drop the Widow Mines, because nothing else to do. Cyclone does get a lock on, but the medevac will go down, and the Widow Mines will survive, but they won't get any shots. Clemenard decided to go into Cloaked Banshee, which is also awkward. And if there's one credit to the option of going into Phoenix or a Stargate in general, is that it is a surprise. most of the time, right? The Terrans are like, Twilight Council, Twilight Council. Oh, Jesus, it's Phoenix. And this has really turned the first 5 minutes upside down for Clem, who expected to at least have the 5 minutes to be the one in control and the one doing the harassment. One Phoenix does finally go down. Second one is in danger. Oh, the second Phoenix does go down as well. 8 SCVs died, but 2 Phoenixes, quite a bit. You didn't want that to happen. The 1 was okay. The 2 was like, ah. But you get 8 SCVs is certainly not a bad takeaway. Medivac died as well. Yeah. Colossus is the choice, by the way. 3rd Nexus on the way. All 4 gases taken and a forge and all your good stuff for the Protoss. Clem gets that little, oh shit, okay, all right, cool. And now he's gone into 3-1-1 with the 2 base setup. I don't believe Clem has done a lot of 2 base SCV pools. It is something that, well, once upon a time, when Phoenix Colossus was really popular, it was also really popular when SCV pools were really popular. But this was also before Legacy of the Void, so this isn't very pertinent. He is going up to 5 barracks, though. Will he SCV pool? I would kind of like it. And hero probably wouldn't expect it. But hero is going to more and more... Oh, no, he already saw the 4th and 5th barracks. Well... Then this should alert him to a lot of aggression early on. Whether it's an SCV pull or not, you don't know until they pull the SCVs. But 4th and 5th barracks coming on before that 3rd CC. Clearly there's going to be a lot of bio heading his way very quickly. But hero has some time before he has to worry about that. Phoenix not going to try their luck again going after the SCVs. They also need to get as many graviton beams ready. And it is going to be an SCV pool. Look at that. SCV pool. Boo, 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 boo. Well, Observer is going to see the SCVs, both sides of them. Hero needs to maybe grab another shield battery or 2, and that's exactly what he does. Phoenix is going to try and lift what they can. If they get that tank or that cyclone, that would be big. And they're going to get the cyclone. Better than the tank, I guess, but still, a couple Marines fall back to deal with this. And the Phoenix don't move out of the way, so 1, 2 of them go down. Attack on the front lines. How is that going? That is just not a very fearsome Protoss army charge. Not yet done. Shield batteries are available on both ends. That's a big deal. What am I not going to get the best shot? Second, what am I getting destroyed? Tanks are now sieging up, however. Banshee is included just for the straight-up DPS, and here we go. SCV's tanking so far on the front line, but already getting melted. Bio getting very weak as well, and only 2 medevacs to heal them. They got to kill the Colossus ASAP, and 1 will go down. The second one getting targeted, and that will also barely not fall. Oh, he needed to get that. Oh, that took way too much to even attempt it. GG's. So hero holds the SCV pool. Bottom left hero, top right Clem. Don't know if he could really improve on the SCV pool, to be honest. Hero having 2 shield batteries really helped. 1 on each side. The Colossus could move one way or another and be relatively protected. The extra shield batteries as well on that 3rd base, the one that he built as soon as he saw the SCV pool was on the way, saved that last Colossus's life. It did. Because the first shield battery ran out of juice. Even the second one, I think, did. And it was like a 3rd and a 4th one that were still keeping it alive. And, I mean, the first 2 shield batteries keeping it alive might have already done the trick. Hero had already injured the bio and had killed all the SCVs. And that was just a matter of waiting for reinforcements. But there might have been there was a maybe, there was a what if the Colossus had gone down. There was no what if the Colossus lived. So it just, I mean, it seemed kind of just that hero did the appropriate things to defend. And I don't know what Clem could have done positioning-wise to help. Maybe some argument about the way he used his tanks. Like, the bio took a lot of damage before the tanks threatened the Colossus. The tank, actually, singular. There was only 1 siege up for a while. But, you know, speed is the name of the game with the SCV pool, and I don't know, yeah. I think Protoss just did what they needed to do. Clem trying out a 5 racks SCV pool against a Phoenix Colossus opener, I think is something he should try out and should continue experimenting with in his latter games, but is not going to happen again in this professional series. So another, what, factory expand here for Clem, who does go one Rex factory, one Rex factory. I do think my name looks less cool if it's all lowercase, and I think I noticed the same thing about the mobile app. I use the Twitch mobile app so infrequently, though. I actually uninstalled it at Katowice 24 because it was giving me bad vibes watching the Twitch chat. So I really try not to use it. I think they revamped it, and I still don't know what the revamp looks like. Reaper could get into the main base this time. Hero did not bother to wall. Possibly too annoyed by the tank pushes that's half of the time probably come at you on this map. Kill these buildings here. Which means you won't get away with anything hidden. Well, you could get away with something. Because this Reaper has yet to scout. But theoretically, this Reaper could force the issue and get a scout in a Twilight Council, which is in the natural, actually. Any online chat is generally bad vibes. Kind of. It really seems to depend on the day. Seems to depend on, like, the circumstance. I mean, honestly, the more that the chat grows large... Well, okay. This actually is a very obvious statement that everyone knows. The larger the chat, the worse it is. Everyone actually knows that. That is just a fact. But I was thinking more in terms of, like, particular caster callouts. You know, like, I feel like in the 2,000, 3,000 range, they're also, like, the most dedicated StarCraft fans, so they're very used to all of our faces. And there's like, it's ZombieGrub again, it's Wardy again, it's Rotterdam again. But you get to, like, higher and higher, and it's nothing but, like, where's Tastosis? I don't like this caster, I don't like that caster, where's this other caster? I miss the days of day 9, you know? The more that the casuals come in, I suppose. So EWC chat was actually very nice, because it's kind of a low viewership. All right, we got a little bit of a push out here from Clem. Trying to go for speed. Did not wait for the medevac. He's not coming on over. Ferrying over a tank. As I said, that push is kind of popular because either it pushes here and kills buildings, or very commonly it pushes here and kills this building at the very least. Oh. A little held up. A little more of a hold up I was expecting. 2 stalkers are dead though for heroes, so was that hold up actually worth it? Tank going to be aggressively placed with a medevac, and another stalker could go down here. Cyclone near death. No SCV brought along. Reinforcements thinking about it. Going to continue with it. Tank didn't siege up in the particularly clever position. Got it shot off and then was blinked upon. Medevac will also go down, and the Marines just looking for every last bit of stalker damage they can find. In total, 5 stalkers went down. You can see on the trade here, it did technically favor Hero, but not by a significant amount. And then you have to consider that the 3rd Nexus was stalled out that entire time. The 3rd Nexus would always be on the way. But you had to rebuild the stalkers, you had to pull the probes, you had to prioritize maybe the Immortal. Like, the 3rd Nexus still is not coming down, as we got the Warp Prism actually prioritized. So this is now very much a choice. I mean, the choice to defend was the right choice, clearly, and not get the 3rd Nexus. Now it is continuing to be a choice of which you just decide to go for the aggression. And this means that Hero has to find damage. He's hoping that Clem might lose a couple more units while he's still retreating, and these are actually going to reinforce, but now retreating, they are going to die, and Clem is in a lot of trouble. War Prism still isn't here, but it's on the way, and Clem is lacking units. A Banshee is about to arrive, another tank is on the way, SCVs are being pulled. Clem did not expect the army to just show up on his front door. He probably, at least he thought he had some time to siege the tanks aggressively. Fortunately, the Banshee, a handful of Marines, and the tank will finally ward away Hero, but that War Prism could still come into effect. Oh, what is, oh, is that a Banshee? Oh, the Banshee, that was a 2nd Banshee. Ow, Cloak was already done. The 2nd Banshee is what was at home. The first one went across the map and killed 8 workers. Equalizing the worker damage done and actually equalizing the whole number of workers, which is a real problem for Hero, who again delayed his Nexus a lot. Not going to have that triple pro production like you would to kind of wave that off. No problem. Not going to break the Terran either, but as I was saying, he does have the Warp Prism, so he should still be able to find probably 4 or 5 extra SCVs worth of damage. Gonna take a while, not gonna be as effective, but it is better than just doing nothing. There's no reason to do nothing. He should have some defenses against the Banshee at home at this point. Yes, he does. And then these Stalkers, he only need 4 of them. 3 SCVs go down, maybe a handful of Marines too, and I guess that will be it as the tank now sieges up defensively. Stim could be in trouble too, however. Might be worth losing a Stalker for it. Not worth losing 2. Loses 1 Stalker. Yeah! Yeah! And he grabs it! He doesn't even want to risk the SCVs going in for the save there. That's a 20-30 second delay on the Stim. Plus the tech lab has to be remade. Banshees were killing a handful of probes, once again equalizing the worker damage. But it's that non-worker damage that's also very impactful. Later third Nexus, and then obviously the later Stim. Still isn't replacing it. He's not going to replace it. He's just going to go for... I mean, you run replace just usually to have 2 Marauder production. I mean, as long as he doesn't forget it, right? As long as he doesn't forget it. I guess he is rather lacking on the gas. Oh, hello. There's 2 extra barracks. Hello! And once again, he's going for a 5 racks. That's why. Stim was rebuilt over on a far more protected tech lab position. And there's another conga line of SCVs. Yes, it is. But Stim isn't going to be done. War Prism with 2 Immortals. Just looking to take down... I mean, he can take down the tanks. That'd be the best thing he could go for. Looks a little courageous, but he knows he doesn't have Stim, so... The chances of the Marines killing the War Prism very low. Another tank went down behind. Charge is done. Guardian Shield effective. Immortals coming in. Tanks are going to get maybe 1 shot off. Yeah, 1 and 2 on the second tank. But the Immortal Jug is good, and yeah, hero just dominated this. Clem. Back-to-back SCV pulls. Not finding any effectiveness with it at all. The hero looks way too strong.